So, hello everybody. I'm here today to present the game Laugh Attack. So, when we finished the game jam, it was a multiplayer 2.5D fighting game on a theater stage where we had two jesters battling it out to make a king laugh on the stage. It only had 3 screens. There was a ready screen, there was the theater stage to fight at, and then there was the end match. But we've progressed to having a whole UI set up. We've got a bunch of new stages, as you can see on our progression here. And I would like to talk to you about some of them. So, all of these new stages come with our brand new story mode. As this game was originally just a fighting game, we now have this lore for why these jesters are fighting it out for the king right there for you to experience alongside them. Through the help of our amazing writers, Lee and Eric, and working with them, our sound designer, Thomas, we have created a fully voice-acted with cutscene story for this game, as you can see in the bottom example with the knight in our final level. So the 4 levels that we have now, along with the basic theater stage that you can fight in when you haven't played story mode, is first the boat cutscene, where the jester is introduced to his task to fight for this king as he lost his last jester in the war. And he continues to fight. The pirate captain ends up having to take the boat, drives it into a farm. There's a pumpkin that rises up from the ashes that he has to go and fight to keep going on this jester journey. Then he gets to the parade in the bottom left corner, and then finally ends up at the Knights Round Table at the top, where he faces the king after realizing the horrors that he's wreaked upon this village, trying to get his role to just be the jester of the town. Now, each of these levels is unlockable through playing the story mode. When you enter the game in multiplayer, because there are these 2 modes, the multiplayer has already unlocked the red and blue jester that you can fight as in the theater arena, but playing the boat level will unlock you this pirate boat scene and the pirate to play as. The farm level unlocks the farm and a pumpkin jester for you to play as. The parade unlocks the parade scene and a merchant for you to play as. And the Knights of the Round Table unlocks the round table and the knight for you to play as. Along with all these scenes are new music for you to jam out to. So we've made a bunch of upgrades on our gameplay as well, such as including a crouch feature. People wanted to be able to dodge the attacks without just having to jump over them all of the time. So now you can crouch and stick your butt out at the person as you punch them. And with this, there's damage effects as well. People wanted to know that they were hurting the other player. So when another player gets hurt, when they get punched or hit by a prop, they will flash red to show that damage. And props specifically, as they do more damage than just the punches, they also show off particle effects, as seen here. There's also, when you beat the other person in the game, we had a lovely commenter from our first presentation reach out to us and teach us how to implement Ragdoll in Unity, which was super awesome, and we're super thankful for that. So now when you hit that final punch, they go ragdolling across the screen to show that you have won the level. Along with this, thanks to Thomas again for the audio, we now have screaming sound effects. You will know these players are getting hurt. And the props as well have all new sound effects as they get thrown, individualized for each prop, and they've all been retextured along with all the beautiful texturing for our stages. The other biggest thing, we created a whole UI system. Shout out to Kaylee for making the font for this game, hand doing that, making all of these scenes that you see up here. And you can see the title screen that lets you load in. Then there's the main menu. That character up there is the blue jester. That changes. Depending on who you last played as, you'll get a new little jester popping up at the front. And our 6 different options are in our main menu, which is the story mode that I talked about, the match, which is a local multiplayer, which we are working on online currently. There is the closet where you can see all of our different characters, and we had our lovely writers write a little funny description for each of them. We have our character select for multiplayer, where you can choose who you want to play as when you're fighting against the other person. There's the archive screen, which currently has props, and our settings, which you can go into, which has fun things such as accessibility settings to fix for and adjust for any color blindness that a player may have, which we noticed when we were first putting in our gestures. If they're indicated by red or blue, people may need to change those colors, so that's an option now in our accessibility screen. And an overview of the controls and gameplay. As I was talking about, here are the different menus for the settings screen that you can turn on and off. There's all the settings with menu, music, sound effects, voiceovers, all adjustable for the player's choosing. So currently, we've been working on promoting as at Interstitching everywhere. And our biggest following has been on Instagram currently. But our future plans include things such as better controls. When we were first making the game, we did it on the old Unity input system. So as a programmer, I don't know if any of you guys know what that means. What it means for me is that it's way harder to do new controller inputs. So we're going to work on upgrading to that to make it have better controller capabilities, which will also help us with implementing online play to make sure the inputs are being put in through the same sort of methods over that. Then improved AI. Right now the AI can be a little silly. It'll run by a prop without even picking it up. So just doing a couple levels to make it a little bit better. And then we also are going to try to improve our story a little bit by adding things like animations in the cutscenes, because right now it's more of a visual novel-based system. We want to put all of the dialogue in the archives so that players can read it even if they're not in the story mode. And like I said, we're working on online play, where we want to add a leveling system to create better online matching when you're fighting, so you aren't fighting someone when you're supremely underleveled. For our timeline, we plan to work on this over the summer. We want to get it onto Steam as soon as we can to get people to start wishlisting. And we hope to release it by the end of the summer so that we can get people fighting off the pain that comes with the new school year. Any questions?
Jaded Researcher on YouTube says, sounds like it's really fun to make.
Yes.
Another YouTube comment from some anonymous person says, use Rewired for controller support.
I think I see the person right there.
So what's the timeline for the next steps?
So we're hoping to get it on Steam as soon as possible. We want to add any of the upgrades and feedback that we get while being here, and any of the smaller bugs that we see. And as well as we do have it out on itch right now, but we want to be able to push it out as fully produced onto Steam by the end of the summer.
End of summer? Okay.
I have a question. What made you do a fighting game? What was your inspiration behind that?
Repeat the question, please.
So the question was, what made us do a fighting game? Well, It was a huge collaboration at the beginning of the game jam when that started. We had a whiteboard thrown up with all of our ideas, just scribble down what is funny. And one of the things that we came up with was fighting, just because, like, have you ever seen America's Funniest Home Videos? It's a little funny when those people get hurt, just a little bit. And so we really ran with that. We were presented with a little bit of an issue at the end of day one of the game jam, being told that our fighting game idea may not work out because it can be overly ambitious at times, but we kept pushing, and we got it done. Yes, back there.
I was just wondering, I haven't played your game yet, so I don't know how difficult it is, but I was wondering if you had plans to add in different difficulty levels?
Yes, so that is, the question is, do we have plans to add in other difficulty levels? And the answer is yes. We are currently working on making the difficulty scale between levels, but then it would also be a great accessibility feature to make it so players can go easier, medium, or hard, or have a little bit more choice in the parts of the game that they want to be more or less difficult.
Interstate Studio!
Thank you.